Now welcome to another lightning response video, where let's kick this one off with a question from CT1177 who asked, "Hey Thor, here's this thought I'm trying to type out. Maybe the best way to go about it is to just let people enjoy what they want to enjoy, along with others to express their criticisms of certain projects. I have been told from Netcat that what's real Star Wars is what you enjoy, and no matter what someone says on the internet, it only matters to your point of view." And I mean, yes, to pretty much all that. I completely agree with you that we, on the individual level, should get to define what is real Star Wars for us and what parts we like or don't like, and then kind of get to talk about it freely, either good or bad. That's exactly how it should work, and it's always been kind of interesting to me to see just how angry some people will get over Star Wars, or should I say at each other over Star Wars. And it goes both ways here. It's both those who don't like some part of it and those who do like some part of it. They can be equally nasty towards each other. Though generally it is the ones who are being negative or talking about something they don't like that are almost automatically given some sort of blame for ruining it for everyone else, or seen as the worse of the two, or the ones being called toxic, as if you're just supposed to always love everything Star Wars and be grateful for the opportunity to pay Disney to consume it. And though absolutely sometimes people go too far with their criticism or positivity and are intentionally trying to be hateful or provoke others, but most out there who are negative towards Star Wars are just disappointed fans who want to see something they care about get better. As I've said before, it's not completely unlike the parent who tries to correct the poor behavior of their child. They do it because they want the best for their kid, to see them grow into a good, productive member of society. And disciplining them when they screw up isn't motivated by cruelty or hate. It's not being toxic towards your child. It is love and concern that motivates them, wanting to see their child become, again, a good human being who avoids the troubles or pitfalls of life. And so when I have someone get nasty towards me about something Star Wars that I really enjoy, for example, I think Andor is fantastic, one of the best things Star Wars ever. Yet I have read a great many comments telling me how wrong or even stupid I am for praising it. And I've even been sent short essays about why it is the worst thing Star Wars ever. But when I get them, they can be frustrating or annoying, but I try not to get upset, or I calm myself down quickly when I realize or remember they're actually arguing from a position of love. Sure, they may get nasty, which no, isn't exactly necessary, but in a strange way I can appreciate that they care that much about Star Wars and what they feel is best for it. That they have the same passion for it that I do, that it's something we share and have in common. We both care enough to fight for it because we both love it, even if we don't agree on some aspect of it, or greatly disagree, maybe I should say. We still, underneath it all, have this root thing in common that unites us, and we should always try to remember that as fans, because there is never ever going to be anything Star Wars that every single fan is going to like or agree upon. Especially when it comes to something as subjective as entertainment or art. There is always going to be someone out there who has what you feel is a very bad or even toxic take that will bother you if you let it bother you. Because keep in mind that something can only be toxic if you take it in and ingest it. If you interact with it and take the bait and fall into the trap and let it poison you, well then yeah, something can be toxic. Not to mention, oftentimes fighting against it can be a sort of fool's errand, because as I just tried to explain, they are, in their own way, they are just as passionate about it as you are, and calling them names or shaming them or whatever it might be isn't going to help the situation. It is only going to make matters worse. Same goes for trying to silence someone you find to be hateful, because doing that, shutting someone up, that doesn't change their opinion, it only prevents them from stating it. And if they can't state it, if they are prevented from speaking out, they're much more likely to act out instead, and that's when things can get really bad. But before I get too far off topic here, let's move on to this question, which kind of relates to the first one, and it comes to us from formerly Duck, who asked, "Hey Thor, what do you think about your viewers? I've noticed that in general, your viewers seem to be much more pessimistic about Star Wars than you are. I find it a little strange that a channel would attract people with a different opinion than the creator. You would think the various opinions would average out to what the creator thinks. Does that sometimes hinder what you want to say and make you feel like you should cater to this point of view? I've noticed that Star Wars Mag has a really optimistic community, and it makes me curious how group opinions can form like they do, especially when they're pulled from the same fan base and surround two basically neutral channels." And honestly, sure, I'm always aware or cognizant of the way people may react to what I am going to say in a video, but I don't think that's any different than anyone else. I think it's almost impossible not to pretty much always think about what you're going to say to another person. Most of us think, even if it's just very briefly, about what we are going to say before we say it, because we don't want to possibly hurt someone's feelings, or we don't want to say something the wrong way that could be misinterpreted as stupid or make us look bad. In fact, one of the reasons I prefer scripting my videos over just speaking off the cuff or winging it is, for one, I can sometimes be long-winded, or I end up rambling about kind of irrelevant stuff, and then I'll feel like I'm taking too long to make my point, and I end up needlessly reiterating certain things or feeling like I worded something wrong and I want to further clarify. Though when I do scripted videos, I'll still add or change things on the fly. I never ever 100% stick to the script. So anyway, I usually do it that way, scripted, because I want to save your time, the viewer's time, and to concisely convey exactly what I mean without confusion. And that's much easier for me to do when I type it out first, read it back to myself, and then can rephrase anything that I feel doesn't come off or across the right way, or just doesn't need to be in there upon further review. Or I'll cut stuff out in the video editing process when I hear how it sounds. Like this little tangent here. This, for example, is the type of thing I will oftentimes cut in post-production because it doesn't really serve any purpose and I am just rambling, though I will leave it in this time to kind of make my point. Anyway, all that said, I don't do videos that way, scripted, because I want to change or hold back what I'm going to say or to craft the perfect video, one that says exactly what my audience wants to hear and keeps them coming back for more, because I always say what they want to hear. In fact, I think or hope that one of the things people like about me, or why they watch my channel, is because I am going to say exactly what I think and not just hold to a predetermined set of beliefs or narrative that perfectly aligns with what my audience expects or wants to hear. Which is then why, yeah, you are going to have a lot of different takes in the comments of my videos, which I very much appreciate because I read the vast majority of my comments and I like to get opinions from all across the board. I want to know what people are actually thinking, good or bad, agree or disagree with me, rather than just having absolutely everything I said in the video agreed with because I simply said what my viewers wanted me to say, because they all more or less fall into or have a certain set of beliefs that I have sort of attracted or tailored with my videos over time, if you will. Basically, trying not to ramble again, I'm not here to tell you exactly what you want to hear and to tell you how to think about something. I'm here to hopefully give you something to think about because I want to talk some Star Wars with all my fellow fans. I want a conversation. I want to be challenged, and the fact that I can attract and keep some in the audience that do indeed disagree with me about a great many things, and sometimes vehemently so, that is honestly one of the best compliments I can receive. It says, or I hope it says, that they want to be challenged too and have a conversation, and that they appreciate my integrity, which is what I strive to keep above all else, my integrity, even above keeping my subscriber numbers high. And so, going back to the question and the fact that, yes, many of my viewers are indeed rather pessimistic towards Star Wars and express that in the comments, even in videos where I try to be optimistic or I discuss something I am enjoying about current day Star Wars, I will still get quote-unquote pessimistic comments. And sure, maybe that can be a little frustrating at times, but it goes along with what I said in response to the first question, that it is perfectly fine and understandable and acceptable to not be happy with Star Wars these days, to be disappointed with what it's been giving us, and to say as much. You're free to talk about whatever you want in the comments of my videos. I am not going to cater to you. I am not going to silence you. I'm going to try and have a discussion with you. And so I certainly don't think of them as pessimistic or hateful or toxic fans. I think of them as fans who love this franchise, who love Star Wars enough to listen to me ramble about it from time to time, the good and the bad, and simply want what's best for it, but don't feel like that's currently happening here in the Disney era, and they want to say as much. And they should be free to do that, as others are free to listen or not listen to them, and to be happy with all things Star Wars if they are or want to be. Well, that's all I got for you this time. Now it is your turn to take to the comments below and tell me what you think about any or all of this. Or you can always ask a question for a future lightning response video. All you got to do is start your comment off with "Hey Thor" and then ask away. And I have been getting a ton of questions lately. I really do want to get a video out there where I answer a bunch all at once, a true rapid style response video. But anyway, for now, whatever you choose to do, leave those comments below and let's talk some Star Wars. And until next time, thanks for watching.